Alright, so since I'm saying Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I guess I'll just do my MCU ranked list, now. I was gonna wait till the end of the MCU, but that doesn't look like it's coming anytime soon, so, yeah, we're at 15 movies now. It seems right to do a top 15 kind of thing, but it's, like, ranked, so it's not really top 15, it's just all the MCU movies ranked, whatever. So yeah, this obviously excludes the TV shows, even though I do like TV shows, but whatever. Guess we'll get right into this list. I'm not gonna edit any of this out, I don't think. Honestly, okay, alright, so we're starting at number 15, which is Thor the Dark World. I don't like this movie. This is the one movie out of all the Marvel movies I just flat out don't like. It's so boring. It's not awful, but it's really, really boring. Man, I barely remember anything about it. Like, these bottom three, or the three I don't really remember anything about. Number 14 is the first Thor, which I think is an okay movie, but, like, it's so forgettable. I mean, of all the Marvel movies, it's one of the more forgettable ones. This, Thor the Dark World, and number 13 are the most forgettable. I barely remember a thing about this movie. It's okay, but it's like, I don't remember much about it, so it's lower on the list for that reason. And number 13, arguably, technically the worst one, but not my least favorite personally, Iron Man 2. While I don't think this movie is that good, I do enjoy aspects of it. It is very rushed out. Like, that's just a fact. That's actually what happened with production. It was just very rushed. They wanted Jon Favreau to just do it, because the first one made a lot of money, and shoehorn all these different things in. That's why it's pretty sloppy. But there are aspects of it I do like. I do like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, of course. So it's not the worst, but it's not very good. I do like it overall, I think, but it's like, I'm not gonna say it's a good movie. Number 12, The Incredible Hulk. I'm rushing through these, aren't I? There's more to talk about later, when we get to later movies. The Incredible Hulk's a good movie. It's not great, but I do like the Incredible Hulk. I like Edward Norton's take on the Incredible Hulk. I like Abomination. I like the whole fight. I like seeing Hulk for the first time. I love that credit scene. Excuse me, my shoulders. There we go. I always have that, like, weird twitch in my shoulders. Whatever. Anyway. But no, I like the credit scene setting up the Avengers. That's obviously in the first Iron Man 2, which is obviously on this list, but because we're doing all the right. Never mind. Okay. But no, Incredible Hulk, I do like it. It's not perfect, but I do enjoy the movie. So number 11 is a movie that's very controversial amongst the MCU. I think I like it. I like it enough. I think it's a good movie. I like the movie decent bit, but it's not great. It has a lot of problems. Iron Man 3. I don't think this is an awful movie or anything. I like the movie overall. It's like a solid B, but it's definitely not a great movie. Like, it's very slow. It takes its time, which for an Iron Man movie can work, because the first one did it well, but I just didn't find any of the downtime it actually had very interesting, and that was my problem with that movie. But it was kind of like a cool, old-fashioned spy to almost kind of movie. So I did like that about it, at least. But, anyway, that's Iron Man 3. So, number 10 is one of the more recent, MCU movies, Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange is a very good movie. I actually really like, Doctor Strange as a whole. It's not a perfect movie, but I really like the movie. I like the whole magic stuff. I like Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. I like the visual effects, which are beautiful. The score is really good. It's overall very solid, MCU, movie. It entreated the MCU, if you will. And it's a pretty fun movie overall, too, so there you go. Number 9 is a very, very good, at least I think so, MCU entry, Captain America, the First Avenger. I really like this movie. Like, it's not perfect, but I really like it. Like, it's like a good B-plus movie. I really enjoy, Captain America, the First Avenger. It's a cool, I really like the World War II setting. It really worked for the character, and it's just a lot of fun. And that's exactly what I needed excuse me, out of a Captain America movie, and they just kept getting better. So there you go, Captain America: The First Avenger, number 9. So number 8, this is a hard list to make. From like the top 10 are really hard to make. CU as a whole, like I really enjoy, but like there are some movies in here that you don't know if you like them more than others because they're pretty on par. This is one of those I had to think about, and it's, I'm just gonna tell it to you. It's waited long enough. Avengers: Age of Ultron. Not a perfect movie. It has a lot of flaws, but I really do like the movie. I think it's a very solid MCU entry. It's one of the more fun movies in the MCU. I think the farmhouse scene is a little too drawn out. That's one thing I would say. The climax is pretty forgettable, but I like these characters. I like seeing these characters again. It's a lot of fun. I like the tie-ins, even though they were a little forced, to stuff like Thor Ragnarok and such movies like that. So, yeah, Avengers: Age of Ultron is a very solid companion piece to the first Avengers. I love seeing the characters interact with each other, and it's exactly what I needed. Okay, so number 7 is, once again, one of the more recent ones. It's not like a perfect movie, but Ant-Man, I think is a great comic book movie. I kind of love Ant-Man in a weird way. I say it's not perfect, and I made it sound more negative than I meant it, but I really like this movie. Like, it's a very fun comic book movie. It's just a fun summer blockbuster kind of movie. It gets you jacked for future movies with Ant-Man. It somehow works. Like Ant-Man, who would have thought? But no, it's very good. So yeah, Ant-Man. I'm kind of rushing through these, but like, it's not a crap ton to say. That's why I wanted to wait till there's more movies so I could kind of get the list out. Okay, so number 6 is the most recent MCU movie. If you couldn't already tell, it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This and my number 5 were so hard to pick. I couldn't tell which one I liked more. I had to think about it. I had to marinate on it. I think I like my number 5 pick more than I like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, so Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 couldn't quite make it to the top 5. But it's just out there. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It's so much fun. It's so clever. It has the great characters that the first movie did, but they're retained. The humor's retained. It's funnier. I really love this movie. It's just so much fun. I didn't do a spoiler review because I don't know if there's enough to talk about. There is some that I would like to talk about, but like, there's not enough for me to do a video around it. So, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, though. It's so much fun. I love it. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely go check it out. My number 5 is the first Guardians of the Galaxy. It was so hard to pick between these two, which one I liked more. I love both pretty much equally, but as a whole, I had to go with a tighter movie. I had to figure out which movie is the tightest of the two, and I think the first one's a more tight movie, because as much as I love Volume 2, it is a little all over the place. It's not necessarily messy, but it's like, it is all over the place, for sure. And that's just one crutch compared to the first movie, because the first movie is an overall tighter movie, so I will say I like the first one more, but once again, so funny, great characters, such a departure from the other movies. It's just a lot of fun. Number 4 is probably everyone's favorite, it seems. It's the big favorite. It's kind of far down on my list for the big favorite, but Captain America's The Winter Soldier. This is the one I see people taking the most as their favorite, and it kind of is the best MCU movie, I'm not gonna lie. As a movie, it's probably the best. I love this movie. It's so good. It's really, really good. It's a great spy movie. It's a great, like, espionage kind of movie. It's a great action movie. It's a great comic book movie. It's a great personal hero story. It's everything. But I will say some of the pacing in that movie isn't perfect. It's not bad for it per se, but there's some uneven pacing compared to the my top three, which are just all perfectly briskly paced movies. So that's why I chose Winter Soldier as 4 instead of having it in my top 3. But Winter Soldier is a great movie. Great comic book movie. And most people's favorite, so there you go. Number 3, I have The Avengers, the first Avengers. It's 5 years old. It just turned 5 years old yesterday. The Avengers is 5 years old. Holy crap. Iron Man's like 9 years old, so there you go. But it's been 5 years since all these heroes have come together and give us this big, amazing, blockbuster summer movie spectacle with all these great characters interacting with one another. It's just so much fun to see, and that magic of seeing it the first time is beautiful. It's still great on rewatches, trust me, but like that first time is amazing. It's so much fun. Love the Avengers. So there you go, the Avengers, number 3. Number 2 is the movie that started it all, Iron Man, which is a movie that some people would disagree with being in the top 2. But I freaking love it, man. I love the first Iron Man. I can watch this movie any day. I actually kind of want to watch it now. I don't know if I will, but I want to. But no, it's such a tight movie. It's so well paced. I love seeing Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark / Iron Man. The action's perfect. Everything in this movie is timed well. The humor's great. The villain, Jeff Bridges, is the only thing in this movie I don't love. It's the one thing that keeps it from like being an A+ movie. Even though I do like Jeff Bridges in the movie, and I like the character he plays overall and the villain and why he's doing all this stuff, but it is a little generic. So that's the only reason I don't absolutely adore this movie. Heck, I do absolutely adore this movie, even if it has one small problem. I love the first Iron Man. I watched it again not too long ago. It's really, really good. I think I watched it again when Civil War came out, so it has been a year. But speaking of which, my number 1 is Captain America Civil War. It's still, like, not just the fact that I got to see it, like, a month early, with a whole bunch of Marvel fans. Like, it isn't just that and my amazing theater experience. I saw this movie twice in theaters. But, no, not just that. It's the movie itself. It's such a beautiful movie. I love it so much. It balances all these characters out perfectly. It introduces Black Panther and Spider-Man to the universe beautifully. I love the action. The action is great. It's memorable, unlike some of the other Marvel movies. The characters are great. It's hard to pick a side, even though I totally disagree with Tony Stark's argument entirely. But he does come from a good place, so it's kind of hard to choose. Team Cap, though, all the way, man. But, no, everything in that movie is perfect except for the villain. The villain's always the thing that weighs these movies down, it seems. Actually, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I kind of disagree. I actually like the villain in that movie. For the most part. Like, the gold people I didn't like, but side note. But, anyway. Captain America Civil War is such a tight movie. It's paced so well. It's 2.5 hours. But it feels like 30 minutes. It's really, really awesome. I've seen this movie like 5 times, something like that. I love it. It was in my top 10 of last year. Such a great movie, and that's my number 1 in the MCU. So that's my MCU ranked list. Post yours if you want to in the comments down below. So yeah, that's my ranked list of all the MCU movies. So peace.